When I make coffee almost every morning, it's usually from Onyx Coffee Roasters. They're pretty close to me, so I can always get stuff fresh and they're fantastic. And on the back of the box, I don't know if you can read that, but it says never settle for good enough. This is a video about opportunity costs and the recent sad but predictable shit show in the comments of Rolling Stag's last video. I'll just read you an excerpt from one of these comments. Some players just want to show up on a Saturday afternoon and play some D&D and hang out with friends for a few hours while cracking jokes. This is fine. It doesn't make the D&D any less valid. Another comment. Some people just want to have a silly time, and that's also okay. Find the group that likes what you like. That's not always practical for some people. If your group is chill, you should always be able to say, I want to run a game that's hard on roleplay. It's a game. Just a game. Now, I could just dump this in here, free pour, and not really pay attention to how much. And I'd probably be happy with that. What is the opportunity cost, however, of me measuring out 2 ounces? Was that maybe 5 to 10 seconds of my life? Doing it on camera, so it was a little more difficult? Okay. Well, how about this? Role-playing games are a little more complicated than a neat pour of one thing. Some Galliano here. I'm going to go 2 ounces bourbon and a half ounce of liquor 43. Okay. Again, I could eyeball that half ounce, but what was the opportunity cost of that? It's just a drink. Anyone saying that would both be totally correct and entirely missing the point. Let's go in a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. Oh, it's just a drink. Do I need to add those? Yes, it's a third of the ingredients. You need to add those. I could drink it like this. It's just a drink. I'm going to add ice. I'll add a nice big rock. I'm going to stir it, even though it's just a drink. So what were my opportunity costs here? What's the cost-benefit analysis of doing all that versus just chucking it in at random, not putting the ice cube in? 20, maybe 30 seconds? What if I told you that methods to improving roleplay and increasing the total amount of fun you're having actually save you time in the long run? But even here, where I'm losing time, it's worthwhile because you know what gets even more frustrating is if I do it the expedient way, if I do it the good enough way. And I do that for 5 years. And I have one of these drinks a week, one of these drinks a month even, for 5 years. And then someone comes along, makes it to me the way I just did, taking 30 more seconds. And with role-playing, we're not even talking about the equipment. You don't need any equipment to do it. Even here, though, $20 of equipment, bar spoon, jigger, that's all you need. Let's say they suddenly make it this way after 5 years. Get a good nose on that. And the moment that hits my lips, I'm treated with, oh, a thing I already enjoyed could have been so much better for 5 years. That's how I felt when I started taking role-playing more seriously. And the reason I think a lot of us get kind of serious about it is because it reflects a culture of mediocrity. The reason I bring up the booze, the reason I bring up the coffee, the reason Rolling Stag and I both brought up martial arts, because this concept of just fun, just good enough, as Onyx Coffee Roasters puts it, it's kind of cancerous. If your goal is fun, if your goal really is fun, why are you not doing anything to increase that? What is the advantage of settling for less? The opportunity cost is nothing to you. You're already going to have that session. Just try it in a different way once, and maybe you come out with the knowledge. Wasn't for us. Maybe you spent that 30 seconds equivalent here. Maybe you spend, an hour of a session, maybe even 2 hours of a session to go, this method is not for us. Then you move on with your lives. The opportunity cost is a couple hours to try out a new method. And even then, you still gain the knowledge that you didn't like to do it that way. What do you lose by not doing that? You spend 5 years doing it a way that it turns out was not actually as fun as you thought it was. We use Plato's allegory of the cave occasionally, right? It's kind of like how when you're really bored in class, tic-tac-toe is kind of a fun game to kill the time. But once you play tic-tac-toe enough, you realize it's kind of a terribly designed game because there's one objective way to always tie it. The answer isn't necessarily stop playing tic-tac-toe. Stop playing the way that you used to roleplay. But it is take a concerted look at things that you do regularly. Even if you are legitimately having fun, I made an earlier video questioning whether or not you're actually having fun. That's something you should also consider. But even if you are, consider whether or not you spend a tiny bit more effort to have exponentially more of that fun. Just consider it. It costs you nothing other than time you were already going to spend. Your time is valuable, yes. So use it intelligently. Clearly you care at least a little bit because you're writing essay-length comments on these videos. So you must agree that it's something that's worth caring about. If you care enough to write a 5-paragraph essay, why not care enough to try to improve? Even try something different. I think maybe this is where that crayon drawing analogy fails, because even most kids doing crayon drawings will vary what they're drawing. They'll draw a dinosaur, and then a person, and then something else. And then they'll go, oh, I don't want to draw with crayons anymore. I want to draw with mom's makeup all over the walls. And the opportunity cost there is pretty, it's kind of gruesome. But Not that I'm speaking from experience, of course. This is worse than that. It's worse than finger painting. It's not demonizing finger painting, it's demonizing doing the same stick figure painting over and over and over again and insisting that any effort beyond that is elitist, it's anti-fun, is, hey man, we're just here to do our thing. Okay, fine, great. Just trying to give you some advice, man. It's not a values judgment to say, you could improve this cocktail. Hey, that cocktail's not that great, it's unbalanced. Even the language, wow, man, you really fucked up that cocktail. It's not a values-based judgment on you. It's a judgment on the thing. Cheers. That's all I have to say.